Welcome to the Woodruff Arts Center. This is the home of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra in Atlanta, Georgia. As your host, I will be guiding you through the orchestra's musical selections and how they relate to the water cycle. You won't see me, though. I am an invisible water droplet floating in the air around the Woodruff Arts Center. But wait! Water and music? What do those have in common? Throughout history, composers, the term for people who write music, have used all forms of water as inspiration. The music in this program will depict sounds of the ocean, clouds, rain, and more. These all relate to phases of the water cycle, or movement of water from the earth into the atmosphere and back to the ground. This occurs over and over again through phases, including collection, evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. The Atlanta Symphony Orchestra's first selection is entitled Water Music. It was written by George Frideric Handel 300 years ago. George I, the King of Great Britain at the time, had a party on the River Thames in London, England. He commissioned music to entertain him and his guests as they rode up and down the river on a barge. The king enjoyed water music so much that he asked the musicians to play it 3 times. Can you think of a song that you like to listen to on repeat? The water cycle has been repeating for billions of years with the same water. That's right. There's the same amount of water on Earth now as there was when the Earth was created. You can imagine how many cycles I've been through. Some musical compositions also have a cycle. For example, water music was written in what we call ABA form. That means the first section of music is played again at the end of the piece. Did you hear the opening musical statement return? How that relates to a water droplet. falling from the sky, traveling down a river, ending up in the ocean, and then returning to the sky again, only to fall back into the river. While not everyone throws river parties like King George I did, many people do like to sit and watch the ocean or listen to the rain. The composer Ludwig van Beethoven felt calmed by his walks next to the water. As you listen to his piece, can you imagine what Beethoven might have seen? Ludwig van Beethoven's Sixth Symphony premiered in Vienna, Austria in 1808. It was inspired by his love of nature. Here, the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra is performing the second movement of this piece. In music, movements are sections within a larger work, similar to chapters in a book. In this movement, Beethoven uses violins, violas, and cellos to convey the movement of the water downstream over rocks and moss. Gravity moves the liquid water from melted snow and rain into the ocean through the collection phase of the water cycle. As water runs downhill into streams, rivers, and lakes, water droplets, like me, gather to form larger bodies of water. I could have been a drop of water next to Beethoven as I made my way to the ocean. Earth's oceans make up 96% of all water on the planet. Therefore, much of my time as liquid water has been spent rolling in salt water waves. Did you hear that? This music sounds like a stormy ocean. Richard Wagner, the composer of the Flying Dutchman Overture, also spent time at sea. At 26 years old, his personal voyage across stormy waters led him to write an opera. The Flying Dutchman is based on the legend of a man doomed to spend his life at sea. Wagner often assigns melodic themes called leitmotifs to characters in his productions. In this opera, the storm is its own character, with the theme passed around to several instruments. You hear it right from the start with the strings. And it transforms as the waves get bigger. Can you tell when the storm leitmotif is playing? Oceans cover most of the surface area of our planet, 71% to be exact. That is a lot of water droplets. Close your eyes and imagine you are a drop of water in the ocean. Feel the sun heating you up. The warmth almost tingles. This warmth from the sun is also what causes liquid water to turn into an invisible gas called water vapor. This process is called evaporation. Richard Strauss wrote this piece, Also sprach Zarathustra, in 1896, intending this movement to represent the sunrise. I feel it! I have evaporated! I'm floating. Do you feel like you're floating too? As water cools off in the air, the water cycle continues, and I transform from an invisible gas into a liquid again, a process of the water cycle called condensation. But wait, what kind of water can you see in the sky? Clouds, of course. French composer Claude Debussy named this movement using the French word for clouds, Nuages. The full piece, 3 Nocturnes, was completed in 1899. Float along with me as you listen. The rhythms of the piece move mostly in unison, and the dynamics are often piano, the musical term for soft. Debussy uses long, smooth legato phrases and a solo English horn, a woodwind double reed instrument, to create the sound of clouds. When you look in the sky, do you notice there are different shapes for clouds? Claude Debussy uses different instruments playing different rhythms to represent the various types of clouds. Brrr, it's getting awfully cold up here. Cold air makes condensed water droplets heavier and heavier until they can no longer stay suspended in the air. This means that it's time to continue through the water cycle. So they fall to the earth again as precipitation, like rain or snow. This piece, called Winter, is part of the Four Seasons Concerti by Antonio Vivaldi, written in 1717. The opening was meant to emulate chattering teeth. Does it sound icy to you? It must be time for me to fall to the earth as a snowflake. When the air is not cold enough for snow, condensed water falls as rain. When I am a raindrop, I love being part of a thunderstorm. Listen to this movement from Beethoven's Sixth Symphony as he depicts the rain, wind, thunder, and lightning through the instruments of the orchestra. First, we have drops of rain, demonstrated by the violins and violas. Next, we have the wind, also played by the violins. Then the cellos and double basses add the thunder. When you put it all together, this is what you get. Now, what else is missing? That's right. Lightning. See if you can hear the flashes of lightning as the whole orchestra plays this movement. Did you hear that? Beethoven's final movement of Symphony No. 6 is meant to evoke a cheerful and thankful emotion, such as how a farmer might feel after the rain has watered his crops. Cultures across the globe and throughout history celebrate the rain. How are you grateful for water and all it provides? Let's recap. We followed the water cycle as droplets collected in a river, flowed into the ocean, evaporated into the atmosphere, condensed to form clouds, fell as snow, fell as rain, and celebrated the life water brings to our planet. All through the sounds of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. The final selection completes our cycle. We are back at a river. In 1866, Johann Strauss Jr. used a poem about the Danube River to write this famous set of waltzes, On the Beautiful Blue Danube. As you feel yourself floating down the river, think about how the water you would be touching could have been a cloud over Africa or precipitation in the Swiss Alps. Maybe the water vapor around you right now once helped to grow your favorite food. The process of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, repeated millions of times since the formation of Earth, is the foundation for life as we know it. Just as the musicians' sounds will float away from the Woodruff Arts Center, I will too. I must continue through the water cycle, and my time as a droplet of water vapor in Atlanta, Georgia, will come to an end. You, however, are welcome back to the Woodruff Arts Center anytime. I hope you will cycle back and listen to the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra again soon.